Cancer came into my life to distract me. Cancer came into my life to destroy me. And cancer came into my life to stop me from my dreams. What in your life can you equate to that? What in your life defines that? Can you define something in your life?
I want you to see him today. Please welcome David, Octavio.
David Octavio Gandell.
David Gandell.
David Octavio Gandell.
David Gandell.
David Octavio Gandell.
David Octavio Gandell.
David Octavio Gandell.
Hey, welcome back, folks. Listen, no matter how strong you are physically and mentally, there are times that your body can fail you. That's when you need to look within for strength and courage. Here's a picture of my next guest. I want you to see him today. Please welcome David Octavio Gandell. David, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Thank you, brother. Sit down.
Thank you for having me here.
This is really great, man. Dave, you don't look anything like the picture.
Yeah, that looks like death. I was at death door.
Yeah.
I was death sentences and basically just, you know, not any chance of living.
What was the diagnosis?
I had an immature teratoma. It's a rare and a terminal cancer. And it grew to the point that it was literally covering all my organs.
I've been a consultant for health club industry probably for over 10 years. I've been blessed with anything that I wanted to do, from acting, modeling, commercials, going to college, getting my degrees. I knew God, I knew Christ. I went to church. The difference was basically I lived a lot of whatever I wanted to do, I did. In January of 2004, I felt a lump, and it took me 7-8 months to finally get to the hospital and look to the doctor and found out what I already thought I knew, that I had cancer.
But it was simple. August 13th, I was diagnosed, and 3 days later, I had surgery. It was that quick, and I thought I was done. But 2 years later, it came back.
I just kept living. I kept living like any day God could take the cancer away. Any day I would feel fine again, and it just wasn't happening. But I kept modeling and I kept doing runway shows. It wasn't until August again of that year that I ended up in the emergency room. I tried to do everything that I could as a human being, as a trainer, as somebody that had a lot of knowledge, to try to battle this myself without any medicine. But there was a little bit of a valley that I had to walk through. The fear was a little bit, it was tough, because now I had visions of chemo. I had visions of going through something very painful. The CAT scan, you could not even see one organ in my CAT scan, because the cancer had spread into a branch and it covered all my organs from my pelvic region to my chest. Every doctor in the country basically said that I wouldn't make it through that weekend. Got a phone call that night, and Dr. Benedetto, he called and said, bring him down. We'll try something. And they had given me 14 chemotherapies in that one round. I came home August 24th, August 25th at 124 pounds. I was still living at 124 pounds. I still could breathe, barely. But that barely breath I was thanking God for.
The support I got from my family and prayer groups was overwhelming.
I got cards from people in Pennsylvania, Atlanta, Chicago, everywhere that were putting me in their prayer list. I just kept thanking them, and just in amazement, like, keep praying because it's working. After my third round, I kept praying every single day and say, God, what can I do? I had to eat. My calorie intake went straight up to 4, 5, 6, 7,000 calories a day. And after that, after my third round, I said, I'm going to the gym. I gained like 7, 8 pounds, I think. The next time I came back to the hospital, and the doctor said, what are you doing? I said, I'm working out. I said, you can't work out. Your immune system's not strong enough.
I said, don't worry. You'll do your part. I'll do mine. And God will take care of the rest. After 7 rounds of chemo, 5 months later,
I had gained weight, got over 140 pounds. You could see my body change. My surgery was February 1st of 2007. I knew that the cancer was going to be taken out. The surgery was 12 hours. They removed the kidney, they removed part of my colon, they removed part of my intestines, they removed 3, 4 different masses that were tumors. And my doctor said, we could not find any sign or anything that dealt with cancer. Nothing. After all this, there was nothing left.
So every doctor in the country basically, I became a case study.
Yeah.
So every doctor in the country knew about it, and literally they didn't want to take the case. They just looked at me and said, we can't do anything. There's no cure for immature teratoma. So I would call myself God's miracle, but certainly as a case study in the medical world.
Yeah.
But faith, brother, that's it. You know, faith in God.
Yeah.
So at 29 years old, I was basically a trainer, a fitness manager of health clubs. Model acting, you know, part-time here and there. I host fitness shows. I help people change their lives physically.
Right.
Perfect health. I get cancer. That was it.
Wow, so this was you.
124 pounds.
How long ago was that?
That was August of 2006.
Wow, man. That had to be a really, really trying time. Especially, you know, if you're this physical guy, physically fit.
Yeah, long hair. I had this physique. I was trainer, running multiple gyms. I was having a great time with life, and I believed in God. But my relationship, when I first got diagnosed, from 2004 to that picture, 2006, God was preparing me for something.
What do you mean?
I believe I was chosen to share this testimony. When I was given that death sentence for that weekend, that I'm not going to survive that weekend, one doctor, my Dr. Benedetto, with Sylvester Cancer Research in Miami, he's the only one that called. And then he goes, well, we're in uncharted waters. We don't know what to do, but we're going to try something. Well, go ahead and try. I said, well, the chemo that we're going to give you might kill you. So first round, 14 chemotherapies. 1 round, 14. I wake up at 124 pounds. He goes, David, in 5 days, if you come back, we'll start the second round. I'll see you in 5 days. I went home. I took that picture. I promised my parents. I promised my family. I said, you will never see me lose another pound because I'm not dying.
Come on, man.
And I pointed up at God. That's why that picture is there. And then I went to the gym, Steve. I started eating about 5,000 to 6,000 calories. And then I went to the doctor. And I gained about double or triple the amount of pounds that I was gaining per chemo. I actually gained weight through chemotherapy. And he looks, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to the gym. I'm lifting weights. He goes, you can't do that. You're going to die. Think about it. Your chemotherapy kills your white blood count.
Right.
Thank God it came back up. Right. But at the end of the day, he was like, you're going to die. You could get a cold and you die. I said, wait, hold on. I have terminal cancer.
You done already told me I'm going to die. So every time I see you,
correct.
You keep saying you going to die.
I got terminal cancer.
David originally had a testicular cancer, which generally is a very easily treatable tumor, particularly when it's at a low stage. And actually, David was referred from some other doctors. He had a very large tumor in his abdomen. He had tumor floating in cells. He had fluid in his lungs. He was really, really in bad shape. But David's case was the worst case because he had to have a response to chemotherapy in order to have any, future. The chemo absolutely was the treatment that made the difference. If he didn't respond to that treatment, then David wouldn't be here today. And David has a strong faith, which he speaks about. And I think, yes, I think that helped him get through and helped me to help him get through. Yeah, I think that that's probably true. I think that there's very little about this specific entity that exists in our knowledge base. This is kind of unique. He had such a dramatic response. In fact, I think he probably exceeded all of our expectations. It gives me great pleasure to know that you are out there inspiring other people, and it gives me great pleasure when I see your pictures or information about you, because you are an inspiration.
You can't have a testimony without a test. There is no, correct. It does not occur that way. I love your story when I heard about it, because I said, okay, here comes a guy that if I bring on the show, is gonna tell the truth to people. See, we're fortunate enough to have medicine and doctors.
Yes, sir.
But when a doctor and medicine get to the point and they tell you they've done all they can do, cool, no problem. Now, I'm gonna go to the source.
Yes, sir.
Where anything is possible.
Amen.
Where all things are doable.
Yes, sir.
Where with the measure of faith, some things could happen for me. So man, I'm happy for you. I hope that people who are watching this show who feel like it's over can find some strength in your story.
It's God's story, man. It really is. And thank you for believing in it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna just be real with you. I don't really have a choice.
Yes, sir.
Because you dig, I only exist today because of grace, mercy, and favor. That's the only reason I exist today. I can't even explain my life. I can't explain this career I have. But when you allow him to put his super on top of your natural, some supernatural things can happen in your life, man. And that's all that happened to me. Thank you for sharing your story, man.
God bless
Thank you very much. I want to thank David for that great story. We'll be right back, folks.
2 years I've been cancer-free. I live 2 months at a time now. That's how often I get checked. And every time I hear I'm healthy, I know I have 2 more months to do God's work. Now I know everything I do has a purpose, everything I do has a meaning, and everything I do, the consequences of it, I want it to be to glorify God and to have my Father be proud of why I'm here. People that know me or people that don't know me, that got to know me, they always ask me, well, how did you do it? What happened? And I said, well, I believe in God, I believe in Christ that saves me and heals me and protects me and supports me and loves me over all things. And but if you want to go to church, come with me and you'll know. For God to use me to get someone to just accept Christ as their Savior, that to me is probably the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. I am here, and I'm alive, and I'm grateful, and I'm blessed.
Hi everyone, I am back with an amazing message that I just could not wait to tell the speaker community. I am so blessed with the response that I got from the first speaker talk. This community has really taken me in. I've gotten messages, text messages, emails, and even from the president of a speaker, amazing words of encouragement and just a blessing to be able to touch the lives that I did that day. But today, let's talk about your greatness. Are you ready to release the greatness inside of you? Today I'm going to talk about some of the things that may hold you back from your greatness, or the things that you do need in order to find that greatness inside of you. So let's start with the things that are in you. You do know that you have been wonderfully created. You are actually made for a purpose. There are things that you have to give this world that only you can give. So the 4 things that I do every day to help me get into my greatness is, first, I pray. I pray, and then I have to listen. The reason for prayer is silent time. Is that time where you can just take a breath, take it in, and ask, what is it that you need that day? And also, sometimes I pray for things to not come into my life, to not come into my space, because in a minute I'm going to tell you why. So after I pray, I have to listen. What do I mean by listening? Well, there's nobody around me when I'm praying, but I'm listening for that inner voice. Do you know you have an inner voice? Have you ever heard your inner voice? Does your inner voice drive you crazy? You know why it drives you crazy? Because there's a dream inside of you that's yelling at you and saying, why are you not dreaming? Why are you not fulfilling that dream? Why have you stopped dreaming? Why have you forgotten about me? There's an amazing speaker, Les Brown, that says that when you're dying, when you're in the hospital bed, the dreams are dying with you. And I always remember that because my story was really a miraculous one. So after I pray, I listen to the inner voice, I have to be obedient. What does obedient mean to you? You have to define it. Obedient is not a negative term. Obedient is something that you do towards something good in your life. When you listen to guidance, when you listen to a dream or vision that you had, being obedient means you go after it. You reach out to the people you're supposed to. You pray for the people you're supposed to. You help others, support others. And remember that when you're giving, the world is going to come back. The universe will come back and give back to you. Don't ever forget that. And lastly, the 4th thing I do is be consistent. Best compliment I ever got in the last years, over a decade of being cancer-free, was one of my friends said to me, David, you know what I admire about you is that you're consistent in your message. And it literally broke me. I didn't know what to say. Because it's been such an amazing journey, but at the same time, sometimes it's a lonely journey. And sometimes it's a responsibility that I don't wish on anybody, but I also know that with that responsibility is where the blessing is at. So the 4 things that I do to at least acknowledge the greatness for just today, let's just talk about one day at a time, is I pray, I listen, I'm consistent, and I'm obedient. That's how I get into my greatness, right? Because that somewhere in there, I'm going to get my gift of that day. I'm going to unwrap my day, and I'm going to see what's in it. What do I have to be today? So there's things, though, that stop us from our greatness. So I'm going to call it the 3 C's. You know, C for cancer, because remember, cancer revealed my purpose. I had to battle cancer twice. And that journey revealed my purpose today. All of us have some type of cancer, something that will distract you, destroy you, or try to take your dreams away. But this time I want to talk about the 3 C's that can stop you from your greatness. You ready for this? How many times are you criticized, or do you criticize yourself? Think about that one. Take a moment. How many times do you criticize others? Or more importantly, do you criticize yourself? Do you know that criticizing yourself is the one thing that's also holding you from your greatness? The 2nd C is complaining. Whew! Let me tell you, Miami traffic. You can complain at any minute when someone just jumps in front of you, or you can complain about someone else that's doing something that you think you should be doing. Or you can complain about just life because you're not in a good place, or the atmosphere that you're in is not conducive to your dreams becoming a reality. So criticizing is the first one. Complaining is the second one. The third one, comparing. How many times have you compared yourself to someone else? See, social media is an amazing, amazing outlet, an amazing tool to be able to share my story, to be able to inspire, to be able to motivate, to be able to impact. But yet, it can also be really bad for a lot of people because they start comparing their lives to other people, forgetting that they have a uniqueness about them that no one else can do. See, no one can tell my message better than me, and no one can tell your message better than you. And I'm going to get that. I'm going to get to that part because your message has to be shared. But remember that when you think that you are limitless, the world has full potential for you to go after your dreams. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you're not good enough. Don't let anything limit you from living your dreams. And remember that vision, that dream that's in your heart, in your spirit, is supposed to come to a reality. Don't let anything stop you from that. So the three things, criticizing, complaining, those things are just going to stop you from everything else. Never compare yourself to anyone. You are uniquely and wonderfully made. Don't ever forget that. You have a gift and talents inside of you that are meant to be shared with the world. The world is a better place because you are in it. Don't ever forget that. Don't let anyone lie to you. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. Before the T, it says, I can. And you can do all things. Don't ever forget that. That is the words that I live by. I can do all things. And sometimes I just have to scream it. Maybe you're supposed to do that today. And just say after me, I can do all things. Because you can, but you got to do it and believe it. Don't ever forget that. I want to give you an example of something that you probably forgot about. You remember a number 2 pencil? You remember those? Any of you? You remember what a number 2 pencil? We don't even use pens anymore. We don't even use pencils anymore. We use laptops, iPads, iPhones, you name it, right? And for you Android fans, of course, yes, Samsung, all of them. But remember the number 2 pencil? How can you make a number 2 pencil useful? It shouldn't be that hard if you actually remember what a number 2 pencil is. Well, you have to have a sharpener. And if you have sharpened it, the lead comes out. And what you can do, you can make it useful. You can start writing. And that's how you should be. What happens when the lead goes off? When you continue to use it and now you need to resharpen it. Why? So you can make it useful again. Think about your life. Are you analyzing your life? Are you resharpening your life? Are you resharpening your dreams? Are you writing your dreams down? Are you writing your goals down? Your aspirations? Are you writing what bothers you? Are you writing what excites you? So then you can be accountable to it. So the only way the pencil becomes useful is by you sharpening it. The second thing the pencil does, it has an eraser in the back. So you can what? Erase. So you can retool. So you can actually learn lessons from it. As you write your story, you're going to make mistakes. As you walk through this world that we call an amazing world that we are able to live in, you're going to make mistakes. I promise you. But those mistakes have to become lessons. And the eraser is only there to be able to restart. Every day is a new beginning in my life. I don't wake up thinking about what happened yesterday or the day before or last week. I think about what the things that I have planned for today. And then I figure out how I can fix the past. But that's what the eraser does. You can erase it, but don't forget to learn the lessons. You make use of it. You erase and learn lessons from it. And then don't forget that in order to tell your story, you have to write it. Write your own story. Don't let anyone else do that for you. They don't know what you've gone through. They have no idea what you have to listen to. They don't know the atmosphere that has been created for you. But they also don't know the gifts and talents that have been given to you. And until you analyze that, and until you start writing your story, then you're able to share it. How do you release what's inside of you? By releasing your greatness. Don't forget that. You're uniquely and wonderfully made. You are a masterpiece. There's things that we need from you. There's things that you need from me. We are all created for a specific purpose, but we have an ultimate purpose. And that is to what? To serve. And if you don't serve, and if you don't analyze your life, and you don't look at your gifts and talents, and you forget about the distractions, stop complaining, stop criticizing, stop comparing. Remember, like that pencil, you write your story. Don't let anyone else do it. And lastly, you know, surviving cancer released my purpose. Because what I did is I analyzed my life, but more importantly, I remembered that God had given me specific dreams, specifics. And those dreams or visions are meant to come to pass at some point in my life. The timing is not mine, I do know that. But I will tell you this, if my story can touch one person, and that one person can believe that their whatever challenge they're going through can become their blessing, I did my job. Like I said, you got to be consistent. Well, I always finish with this. Find hope, have faith, live every day with purpose. And remember, you can be a miracle in someone's life today. How do we find hope? Through stories, through other people. How do we have faith? Through learning about our lessons and understanding that everything we accomplish and we overcome builds our faith. Third, living every day with purpose starts with you. Find something that is going to elevate you and elevate others. And lastly, to be a miracle in someone's life. You can be that miracle. You can share your story, and you can release the greatness inside of you. God bless you.
I want you to see him today. Please welcome David Octavio Gandell.
David Octavio Gandell. Adelante.
David Octavio Gandell.
David Octavio Gandell. David Octavio Gandell.
David Gandell.
David Octavio Gandell.
Sometimes I wanna give up, put my hands up, Lord, take this cup from me. I can't seem to get it right and do it right. What is wrong with me? My spirit is thirsty and my soul is hurting. Frustration is beating me down. Things I don't wanna do are the same thing.
I have with me my brother from another mother. After battling cancer not once but twice, he is now 10 years cancer-free, and he helps others by being a life coach and a writer and an inspirational speaker, and he really just helps changes people's lives through his testimony. I have with me today David Gandell. How are you, my brother?
How are you?
I feel like we're missing a name. Octavio David Gandell.
David Octavio Gandell.
David Octavio Gandell.
Yes.
All right, let's first start off with your nationality. What are you?
Born in Puerto Rico.
Born in
Puerto Rico.
Right? Puerto Rico, not New York?
No, born and raised in Puerto Rico, and very proud of my little island. Yes.
Yeah, but your mom is.
My mom was born in Puerto Rico, but her family was born in Spain, in the north part of Spain.
That's right.
And now I have another family.
I know,
I
man.
feel like I have a brand new family, and now I have to go to Spain every year.
That's right, and she's very proud of her Spanish heritage. She'll let you know quick, fast,
Very
and
quick.
hurry.
Very quick.
So tell me, David, let's take it all the way back to your days in Puerto Rico. You guys are growing up there, and you are doing life. What did you experience in life in those early days that first taught you how to never give up?
My parents. It's great that you brought up my mother. At the age of 29, when she gave birth to me, she had 9 cardiac arrest. She was supposed to be dead. She spent a year in the hospital after she had me. She only saw me a few times. And my father and my family took care of me while she was in the hospital. And after leaving the hospital, doctor said to her, listen, just go home and be a mom. That's your job. No, not my mother.
You know, I know her.
She went to Ohio State University, go Buckeyes, and she went and got her doctorate in psychology. And still to this day, she has almost 50 patients a week that count on her. They're like kids, but they're in their 40s, 50s, whatever, but they're her. That's her ministry.
Can you tell, will she get mad at us if we tell her age?
Yeah, so no.
So we can't tell.
No age.
But she has really, no matter the age, I'm telling you, this lady has more energy than most teenagers, right?
She lives to the fullest.
Yeah.
She lives the now.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's never promised to her. She's now, and that is where my faith starts. I had a foundation from my mother and my father. At very young age, they said I can do all things, and okay, all right. And even when they said you couldn't do something, I said, well, you told me I could. So, you know, my parents built that foundation, you know, from a religious point of view, you know, but as a Christian.
And you would need that later on in life.
I didn't know how much.
Yeah. So here you are doing modeling, doing hosting, MCing, you're traveling the world, you're doing your thing, and you get your first scare of cancer. Talk about that.
At the same age my mom had me, at 29.
Wow.
The same year I get diagnosed with cancer the first time, it was 2004. And, you know, it was testicular cancer originally, Javen. And the doctor's like, oh, no, you know, it's testicular cancer, you know, many people have survived that. And then they called me back a week later, and we had talked. And the doctor said, well, Mr. Gandell, we need you back. So what? Tell me. They don't tell you anything.
Yeah.
We need you back in the office, and at that moment, they said, you have an immature teratoma. And I said, well, if it's immature, you should be fine. It's the opposite. It's terminal. There's case study after case study, an immature teratoma, when it spreads and it grows, there is no cure because it grows different types of cancers. It's not one, it's multiple. But thank God at that moment, it was encapsulated, they removed it, and they said it was fine. I just need to get checked up. But here's where God comes in, knocks on the door, and said, okay, now let's build a relationship. And, you know, to give you credit, because you're, you know, but at that, I had met you before that. I met you in Tampa. And you had said to me in Tampa, David, you need to move because you're going to be, one day God's going to use you. And he's got bigger plans than you. And you're a big fish in a small pond here in Tampa. And I took your words to heart.
Not hating on Tampa, by the way. I don't know why he's putting me out there like that.
But it was the first time that I felt God, like I felt it in my, like a puncture.
Right.
And it was the first time that I had a sign that was physical, that you feel almost like a pain, like when you break something, that said, okay, you got my attention? Do I have your attention? And that was the first moment. And I did. I followed, you know, your advice.
Made the transition.
As a brother, I made a transition. I did not know that cancer was going to be in my life. By no means. I was 29 years old, healthy, long hair, and everything going for myself. I was running multiple gyms. And all of a sudden, here comes this wake-up call. And you were there, thank God. And the biggest thing that I ever remember was that God just wanted to build a relationship. And you kept telling me, David, it's not about religion. It's not about this relationship with God. You need a relationship with God. You need a relationship with God. And that's when I literally just said, okay, let's talk. Let's talk. Why? The first question.
So you start this relationship with the Lord. You start on this path. You think things are going to go good and that it's going to go up from here, surely, right? Because you finally answered the call to serve God. And it's always interesting, and it brings up a very, you know, we're talking about don't quit today. And it's always interesting because, you know, when you think you're committing your ways to God or doing God a favor, some people, you know, that it's all going to work out, it's going to be good, and everything's going to be fine. But then something else takes place. A second time, you get a second blow.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
It was 2 years. almost to the date. And what it was God was preparing me for the second battle. I wouldn't have survived the first battle if I had to fight it.
Wow. Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
So those 2 years were me getting back into speaking, getting back in front of people, sharing. I'm cancer-free. God healed me already. I was speaking those things, but at the end of the day, it was God preparing me for what was to come. The chemo was coming. The surgeries were going to come. All that was coming, but I wasn't ready in 2004.
So the first one was a small, it was cancer surgery, but it was done. And you're thinking you're good.
Long hair.
Kept your long hair, no chemo. You think you're good to go.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
But those 2 years, man, did I get close to God. Did I rely on him for everything? Everything was happening in a way where he was opening doors for so many different things. I was getting back in the school system and speaking to kids about health and wellness, using my testimony, and then in 2006, I started getting visions of me being skinny, me being bald, and chemo. Wow. The fear. Wow. The fear, like I always say to people, but fear will lead you to the blessing, man. I tell you. Yeah.
So talk about getting that second diagnosis.
I went to the doctor after modeling in a show in Orlando. I was already covered with cancer from my pelvic region to my chest. I had fought it different ways. I went through holistic. I went through diets. I went through all kinds of stuff. Nothing that I did worked. I modeled in a show in Orlando, beginning of August. 2 days later, I'm in the emergency room in Boca. And that day, the doctor said, I don't even know how you're still alive. I don't even know how your organs haven't shut down. I have no idea how you're still standing. Wow. And we're going to need you to go immediately admit you to the emergency room.
Because cancer is all
from here to here, all over, covered all my organs in a PET scan. So the PET scan was lit up, all the organs. You could not see one organ, Javen, not one.
Stay right there. We're going to be right back. We're talking to you today about how you cannot quit. You're not going to believe how this story is going to end. So you got to stick around to hear the outcome and the scriptures and the things that David Octavio Gandell has stood on that has allowed for him to be here today, saying 10 years cancer free. We'll be right back, my friend. You're watching Now Living right here on TBN.
This year I'll be 10 years cancer free. As I go on in my journey, I thank God every day that I am blessed. Now I know everything I do has a purpose, everything I do has a meaning, and everything I do, the consequences of it, I want it to be to glorify God and to have my Father be proud of why I'm here. People that know me or people that don't know me, that got to know me, they always ask me, well, how did you do it? What happened? And I said, well, I believe in God, I believe in Christ that saves me and heals me and protects me and supports me and loves me over all things. And but if you want to go to church, come with me and you'll know. For God to use me to get someone to just accept Christ as their Savior, that to me is probably the best feeling I've ever felt in my life. I am here, and I'm alive, and I'm grateful, and I'm blessed.
So that's why we're so glad David Octavio Gandell is here with us, motivational speaker, 10 times, I was going to say 10 times.
Don't give me that much.
No, 10 years, 2-time cancer survivor. You were talking about when you got that diagnosis the second time and how that cancer was literally all over your body, throughout your abdomen area. And you didn't know, at that point they were saying you got to come in for surgery. Pick up right there.
Yeah, they gave me into the room. They said at the time they couldn't do surgery because I had covered all my organs. I would have died. But the interesting part of it,
so they couldn't do surgery because there was too much cancer.
Too much cancer. I would have died on the table.
Yeah.
So what happened was every single doctor in the country knew my case. They've known it for 2 years, so I'll make this very short. But nobody wanted to take my case. Right. Everybody said, you're dead. There's nothing we can do for him. One, we don't have a cure for what he has. And two, we don't even know what he has anymore because there's 4 different branches, 4 different tumors growing out of one tumor. So what ended up happening was prayer, a lot of prayer, you know that. And I was at the emergency room on a Friday night. The doctor's crying. The doctor's telling me, listen, David, we're going to start the morphine drip because we don't want you to have any more pain.
And
you were in pain?
I was in pain. I was in a like fetal position. I was, pretty much.
What did you look like at this point? Did you
I
lose
was
weight?
180 something. No, I was.
So you're still regular?
Yeah, I just finished modeling at a show. I was 180 something pounds.
So nothing looks like anything's wrong?
No, I'm still, big. But then what happened was the prayer was answered and the instrument appeared. Dr. Benedetto from Sylvester Cancer called and said, "What are you doing with the patient Gandell?" Nothing. We started the morphine drip.
How would he know to call you?
Because I was a case study in 2004. So everybody knew that I had an immature teratoma. It's so rare, Javen. It was a paragraph in the oncology book. Now it's a chapter. Amen. I'm in the oncology book.
I was going to say, you're making history.
But I'm the only case study of the most grave case, the most rare case. But what's interesting about it, Benedetto called me and said, okay, I'm all happy. I'm on morphine. Driving to 95 South. I get to the hospital, and he wasn't happy. He was just like, listen, we don't know. We're going to try something, but we're in uncharted waters. Those were his words. And I said to him, well, guess what? God's going to heal me, and you're the instrument. And I wrote it in an envelope, and I said to him.
You said that to him?
I said that to him, and he looked at me like I was crazy. And I said, well, you're not the only one that's ever looked at me that way. I've been looked at me that whole life. Why? Because through life, I did crazy things. I went after things that nobody believed. I went after even basketball when nobody thought I had enough talent, and I made the team.
I didn't know that.
But again, in Texas, I play ball, and what was interesting about it is
Puerto Ricans can drunk.
Yeah, I can't duck anymore. But what's interesting about it is that God starts revealing things through life. All the times that you thought it wasn't good enough, all the times that you thought I don't have enough talent, I don't have enough support. I don't have anything, but you don't need anybody's support. You just need his support.
Stay right there. I want you to say the exact same thing in Spanish. Look in the camera and say that real quick.
Tú no necesitas el support o la gente que te dé el apoyo. Tú lo que necesitas es a Dios que te apoye. Tú necesitas la fuerza de Dios y el Espíritu Santo de Dios.
Gloria a Dios. All right, let's keep going.
So, story short, what happened was he started the chemotherapy. 3 weeks later, I went down to 124 pounds. I believe that's when you got the call and you flew down. And I was 124 pounds on August 25th. That was my testimony picture. And can I tell you, Javen, to this day, nobody wanted to take that picture because nobody wanted to remember me that way. And before I went home that day,
took the picture?
My girlfriend at the time. And I was almost in tears because I was like, can someone just take the picture? Because right before I took that picture, God revealed to me, you're not dying. And that was a revelation. This is your testimony picture. Take it. And can I tell you, Google my name now? Yeah. That is the only picture that shows up. So what I tell people is like, God will speak to you, listen, in so many different ways. The thing about it is, are you willing to listen? Are you willing to be obedient, like you always talk about? And that I was obedient, even though it took me almost all the effort, all the energy I had at 124 pounds to say to people, can you just take a freaking picture? I was upset. I was frustrated. I was in tears. And I was like, so I smiled. I pointed up at God, and I said, okay, this is my testimony picture. I came back 5 days later. The doctor was shocked. And from there, what happened? God started revealing short hair. I was going to be on stage. I was going to be on television. I was going to be doing modeling shows again. I was like, and I haven't had short hair since I was a teenager.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, God, if you're showing me this vision, if you're giving me this dream, and then God revealed to me, when you were in Puerto Rico and you were a young kid, you had a dream to inspire millions, and you shared it, and people laughed at you because you didn't know how it was going to come to pass. Through me, that's what God's telling me. Here's your testimony. You're going to fly around the world. You're going to do all these things. Long story short, 98 chemotherapies is what the total that I did.
How many surgeries?
One more major surgery. That was a 12-hour surgery.
12-hour surgery.
That was done on February 1st of 2007. No. Seven doctors were part of this. I felt like the president.
Yeah.
7 doctors there when I woke up.
So you're 7 doctors, 12 hours.
Yes.
And They
removed what was left. And my mother, I always feel like the Jesus story. My mother went to Dr. Benedetto, found him in the hospital, and Dr. Benedetto gave the miracle news to my mom. We could not find any cancer in your son after they removed everything.
After they removed everything. So they took out all which this involved some of your organs and stuff?
I removed the kidney. Yeah, I lost one kidney to the surgery, part of my colon, all my lymph nodes in my pelvic region. It's a whole case study. But they put me back together, they stapled me back, and they said, okay, you're up. And I got up the next day, the following day after surgery, and they had me stand up. Because they had to, because of
they had you stand up because what?
Because of the lungs, and you can't if you have to be able to. If not, your lungs get fluid.
Are you conscious at this time?
Barely.
And you have staples going.
Staples from here to here.
Here to here.
All the way down. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And you at this point the cancer's gone?
No. I didn't know anything until later because I was still loopy.
When you were going into the operating room, you were thinking what? I'm going to come out cancer-free, or you?
I was listening to the surgeons tell me the same thing that my other doctors had said to me. This might kill you.
Gotcha.
I've heard this already for 7 months.
And you knew that there was a chance either way.
I felt that yes, but I also had confirmation from not just people like you, but other people in my life that has said God would never take you this far.
Right.
And this was one of the scriptures that I can say that you taught me is your life verse, Philippians 1:6.
Says what?
That he will complete.
Yeah.
Everything he starts, he will complete.
Yeah.
And that completion, this was it. This surgery was completed. The surgery I didn't want to have, the surgery I was scared to have, the surgery I said to people I'm never going to have to go through, that was the final completion.
That's the completion
of my cancer.
You had to walk through the process in order to get to the promise.
Yes.
So, and as you've walked through that, can you sum up what you've learned through this entire, because this is a life-threatening process. You should have been dead. You know, you hear people say you should have been dead. You're a person that literally should have been dead. When you think over your entire process that you've gone through, and now that's been 10 years ago, when you look back on that, what is the one thing that you can say to people today, especially somebody that may have that scare or may have to go through that will keep you when you're faced at death's door? Purpose.
Cancer led me to my purpose. So without cancer in my life, I would just be someone just working in gyms or modeling or doing whatever. That was not my purpose. My purpose came back when I was a kid, when I said, I'm going to inspire millions. So through different scriptures, it came to pass where he says, this is now you're going to live your purpose. And now I'm going to show you how your past is revealing now.
So your challenge becomes your champion.
Yes.
You're a champion today because of the challenge you face.
Yes. The blessing came from the fear. It came from all the challenges, all the trials, all the tests, and all the people that said, you're never going to make it.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much, David, for stopping by Now Living and sharing such a powerful testimony. Wow, wow, wow. My friend, I don't know what you're facing today. Maybe you haven't had something as intense as David's experience with cancer, but maybe it's just something financial. Maybe it's something in your marriage or relationship or the lack thereof. So here's what I want you to know. Just like he just shared here today, you cannot quit. There's no need to quit. Your challenge actually is a part of your championship. As a matter of fact, in order for you to become a champion, you've got to face the challenge. Go through it, go through the process, you receive the promise, and the blessings will be yours. But it all starts right now. Thank you for joining us on Now Living. Log on to nowliving.tv. Follow us on social media.
So I'm driving home. Lisa, what time? At 1 o'clock in the morning? 12 o'clock I left? Boynton Beach? Midnight? Yeah, so I'm leaving Boynton Beach. So now about an hour and a half from my house.
No, it was like 3 in the morning.
No, I got home at 3. I got home at 3. So it's like 1 o'clock, I think. So I'm leaving, everything's fine. My car is perfectly, not this one, the other one. My car is perfectly. And I get on the express lane. I always get on the express lane. Why? Because the express lane is always clean. And it's yeah, but I'm saying there's people don't want to pay the toll at that hour. There's less drunk drive, exactly. So I'm driving, and so I hit something. I must have, because all of a sudden, I'm crossing Hollywood down Griffin Road or whatever it was, and 36, 33, my PSI on the wheel, 29. The other three are 35, 29, 27. I'm driving, 25. I'm like, fuck. Sorry. But oh my God. That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I'm back in my car driving like right now. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna make it home. I'm not gonna make it home. God, please don't. But here's the thing. The whole time, I wasn't thinking about wrecking. I wasn't thinking about the tire exploding. And I wasn't thinking about maybe hitting somebody else. I was just only thinking about the air that was leaving the tire. Because there was no noise. There was no ram messing up, nothing. I finally get to like 15 and I get off on 395. I'm almost home, but now it's getting quicker. And there's only one lane. If you ever go to 395 off 95, it's only one lane because they're doing construction around it. So I'm like, okay, God, okay, I'm stopping the car. I'm not gonna try to make it home because I'm gonna damage the car. And I get off until where the bridge is and all the lanes open up, and I immediately go all the way to the right. Okay, follow me in this story. It's gonna crack you up. I call OnStar, Road Ranger. I didn't know these things existed. Road Ranger comes up. There's no spare. I have no spare. None. So they can't change my tire. The car comes with no spare. OnStar tells me that. Okay, thank you for telling me that now. Okay, great, the Road Ranger's here. So I tell the guy the story how from Hollywood, it was a 35, and it got all the way to 9. I have a picture I can show you, ladies. And I said, can you just fill it up with air and get me home? If you fill it up to 30 or 40, I should be able to get, the bridge is 7 minutes, I think. I can get over the bridge and my apartment's right there. He did, thank God. I was able to get home. I had 15. I left the car in a parking spot. I told the valet, I'm keeping the keys. No one's taking their cars. I don't want them to drive it messed up. Next day I call. No one can come on Sunday to pick up the car. I didn't want to tow it because if you know anything about South Beach towing, I want to get the air. I just need air. So Sunday, no one can come get air. I call Tire each other. No, they can't bring air, blah, blah, blah. So I'm asking for air. And the next day on Monday, I finally call OnStar. I'm on OnStar for 2.5 hours, and the lady's arguing with me that they cannot send anyone from Chevrolet to put air on the tire because that is not something they do.
You know you can buy it.
Hold on.
At our parts.
Yes, but I have to go. I have to Uber or something. But I'm asking them. I'm on OnStar. I'm paying for a service. Oh, Mr. Gandell, you don't have a spare tire. We can't do we can do this. We can tow your car. I said, I don't want it. I'm the customer. I don't want my car towed here. I know what it does to a car here. These people don't take care of your car. Please, I just need air. They did it just 2 days ago. Why can't you do it? And I find myself literally getting frustrated. That it doesn't happen too often. But I'm losing my patience and I'm telling her, why are you arguing with a customer? Just have the person come to do the tire, and he probably has a pump because they all do. Oh, but Mr. Gandell, we can't put it in the system that way. We don't offer that service of air. I'll pay the guy a tip. But here's the thing, I'm saving you a toll. I'm here literally telling everything I'm telling you. 3.5 hours later, even the maintenance guy in my building, Angel, I said, Angel, do you have an air pump? I do, but I need extension cords because of the way where I'm parked. Forget it. I decided to call OnStar one more time. And voila, there's an Angel. What do you think she said?
I'll put it in as a tow and just have them put air.
Okay, anybody else?
I know the toilet.
Oh, you know the story? I told you? I've only told it to like 2 people.
If that person is the angel, I guess we'll get someone there for you.
None of the above. she said the magic words. Mr. Gandell, open up your trunk. You have an air pump in your trunk. I'm screaming for air. I'm asking for air, and the whole time I had it.
And maybe that's the reason why you don't have a spare tire.
I didn't look enough. Correct. I didn't ask why I didn't have a spare tire, but I also didn't ask what did I have. So what I left, when I went and took it to the tire shop, I pumped up my own air, went to tire of choice, whatever. They put a new tire in my car. $500 later, that's fine. I don't care. It's already done. At the end of the day, I'm at home, and I think I did tell you that story. And then here's God. Why are you focusing on the tire and not focusing on your message? You were asking for air. You were yelling for air. You wanted air. And you had it. What are you asking? What are you yelling? What are you complaining about? That you probably, or more certainly, have already in your life. And with that, God bless you. That was awesome. That was the seminar.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say again, thank you to AJ and thank you to Jose. Please, please. I had a whole speech lined up, but it was very overwhelming, I'll be honest with you, to be back on stage just modeling. Hosting to me has always been easy, but to model on this stage, Discover Your Beauty, that they gave me an opportunity to do before I was diagnosed with cancer in 2004. They gave me an opportunity to do when I had the second battle with cancer, and they gave me the opportunity to come back from cancer. And this was one of the shows that gave me the motivation to fight through the chemotherapy and to fight through the surgery when these two men went to Miami to give me the encouragement and said, David, next year you'll be one of our models at Discover Your Beauty. So I want to thank you guys. A show like this is about changing lives. It's about making a difference. It's about being open. It's about loving everybody, not singling anybody out. These women and men have given up their time to come here to basically entertain you. But they did it because of the love of these two men that have done in Central Florida an amazing experience to everybody that's ever gone to your show. And it's truly a blessing to me. I always share with people, find hope, have faith, and live with purpose. But the one thing I want to add to it is to be a miracle in someone's life today. There are people here fighting cancer. There's people there fighting cancer. There's people that lost someone in the shootings. But be a miracle, because you don't know whose life you're going to change. So today, I ask you, as you are some of those millions of people that I've been able to speak in front of and to inspire, to remember tonight and tell others about what happened here tonight. And let's make a movement and make it different, not only in Orlando, but everybody's lives that you are able to touch. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Discover Your Beauty 2016. God bless you.